phone sideways so I can run my charger so it don't run out of juice.
Okay, so
Facebook
it's starting to
Live.
record.
Do I
Everybody
go to
should see a
Daniel
button.
Costa's Facebook Live or something?
Yes, you
Yeah,
should
it's
just
the
go to
link.
Daniel Costa's Facebook page, and the
Okay.
first post will be live.
Oh yeah, is live now. There we go.
See
Can
it?
you see the Zoom, Hannah, through Daniel's
Yeah,
Facebook
maybe
page?
I'll give you a screen test or something. I'll give you
Please.
a screenshot if I can, so I'll let you know. Although I'm not too
Because
sure.
the idea, Daniel
Yeah.
was very.
Yeah, we're all on there, all right. So that's cool.
Yeah, I
Daniel
see ya.
could, in fact, move the phone closer to the camera if he liked.
To the screen. Like that.
It's
To the
there.
screen, yeah.
Perfect.
Yeah, you could.
Now, how's it
I
look,
see it.
Hannah?
Like I said, I'll give you what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take a screenshot, I'm gonna crop it a bit, and then I'm going to share it.
Yeah,
The big
So that
idea
was
was
all
that
right.
Facebook has a delay, so whoever's watching is going to be delayed, but doesn't matter. They won't know it.
Yeah, I'm trying to pull up Facebook on my laptop. It seems to forget that I knew them. They
It-
want me to
Matt,
sign back in again? What?
Matt, is Sue going to come
It's all
on
cool.
to Facebook?
Oh, it's just ordinarily. Let me see something here.
So just so that everybody knows, Daniel has his
Control.
Facebook page on his phone. His phone is facing the Zoom conference. The idea was that we wanted people to
There we go.
either
Got
join
it.
Zoom or Facebook and be able to see each other.
Right.
So-
That's case today. Let's see.
So anyways, let me start it off. What I'd like to do is we'll do 5-minute sessions. So everybody gets to talk for 5 minutes and say what is going on in their lives with CalExit or what they saw in the news or some idea they think is really important. We'll go in alphabetical order. Well, actually, I don't know how to do this. Let's just
Start
go
with
with
the A's.
whose name starts with an A first? H-A.
Are we
Okay, I
talk-
know.
Are we talking first or last name?
We're talking first. So let's go with Hal, because that's H-A-L. And then the next one would be H-A-N. Oh, no, Daniel.
I was gonna say.
I was going to say,
Daniel,
unless
you go
I've got my alphabet wrong, D comes before H.
No, you're right. Okay, Daniel. Daniel, for 5 minutes and no more, brother, so we can get everybody in. 5 minutes. What's going on in CalExit that's really important for everybody to be aware of, or we should be doing? Blah blah blah.
Well, so let me start off with the recent news that we all saw because we posted it about Governor Newsom stating that rhetorically we're a nation. That news article was pretty incredible. I mean, to hear that and to basically point out, that article pointed out all the great things about California, how we should definitely, the actual author was saying, will we become independent? I don't know, but I would love it if it was possible, to paraphrase. And, Governor Newsom just took over for the face masks and the ventilators and stuff, and just basically made his own policy and said, we're going to fabricate a lot more and we're going to give them to other states that need them. Basically what the federal response should have been. California has responded again. And that puts us, out there in the news. I think a lot of people are going to see that. I think it's also, Marcus had mentioned that in the last few days, in the last week, the social media has gone up on Independent California, on Twitter and stuff. He's seen a lot of movement. The other poll that came out was that 70%, they just did a poll. It was 70% of Californians are not against secession, which is huge. That's just a poll that came out like a few days ago, 2-3 days ago. So all that news, I think, is great, bodes well for Independent California, and I think we should just keep on ramping up social media, let them know that we're out there, because we're still not spoken about as an organization, not even about the California independent movement. So if people are interested in it and 70% are saying we're not against it, then we have to be at the forefront to really tell them there is an organization that specifically wants to do this, what you want. Because I think even the author himself, people think that it's not possible. They think that, yeah, it's a novel idea, but we just can't do it. And we need to be there and say, yes, we can. Yes, there is precedent. Yes, we can do it. There's nothing stopping us. And the more they're going to know that, the more they're going to be enthusiastic of that. So that's it. That's what I wanted to talk about on recently, the activity for IC. Next.
Okay, let's go to Bob, because Bob should have gone first.
That's
Then
right.
we'll go
That's
back-
right.
Then we'll go to Don.
Marcus, can I
So-
get a point of personal privilege, if you will? I want to show you the picture I just screenshotted, okay?
Oh yeah, real quick, Hannah, please.
So share screen. It should be that. Let's see if this works.
There should be a few people on
Okay.
there.
So does everybody
Okay.
see there?
Yeah.
There you go. I think I'm showing my cursor over there on the right. There's there's you all smiling faces, and that's what you look like on screen.
Okay, so
That's
but
on-
it's
that's
not
via
it's not
Facebook
that
Live.
blurry, right? It's clearer than that.
Yeah, it's clearer than that.
Okay.
That's just I don't know. That's just what I screenshotted. I don't know why it was that way. Well, probably because it was a video. That's why, because I tried to make a shot of a video.
Mm.
Anyways, there you go, guys. So we're working okay. Yeah, we're fine.
Cool. Yeah,
I'll let you go now.
I see a few people on Facebook Live right now. So
Back to
Okay,
meeting control.
Daniel, is there
Yeah.
any comments on the Facebook Live? That was the other thing we were going to test, was making sure that people on Zoom answer any Facebook Live comments.
right now, I just see names. I don't see comments right now.
Okay, so
No.
for everybody's information, Hannah confirms and sent out a screenshot. The Facebook Live looking at Zoom does appear to work, so we can put out both Daniel's Facebook page and the IC Zoom link and have them face each other, and it does seem to work well. So, okay, good news, because we're going to do that for CALEXIT CON. Okay, now back to Bob. Bob,
Okay.
in
Okay. Hello.
5 minutes, what's going on, brother? What does everybody need to know? You're a Californian. What's going down? What do we need
Okay.
to talk about?
So what I'm going to say is what we saw, and this is from Wisconsin, that sign, that woman who had to wait in hours to vote in the middle of a pandemic. This is ridiculous. And it is just ridiculous. This is a banana republic, and we just need to get out. The latest thing with Trump, he's playing favorites with the states that voted for him, like giving Florida whatever they want, while he's denying New York. Can you guys hear me?
Yeah.
Okay, sorry
we
about
can
that.
hear you.
Wasn't sure
We
if
can
you
hear
heard
you.
So like, you know, and he sent us 170 broken ventilators that we had to fix. And now, you know, he's giving Florida and other states whatever they want that voted for him. He's demanding praise for any sort of assistance. He's not giving New York or New Jersey, two of the biggest donor states, what they need, or California. He sent us 170 broken ventilators. And who's now providing aid? California and some other, you know, some of the Oregon and Washington also sent ventilators to other states. So, and I understand recently that Colorado said that they bought ventilators and FEMA took them away or something, and that they also marched into hospitals in California and just literally took supplies from hospitals. This is stealing. They should be arrested. As far as I'm concerned, Nuisance should just say, look, these guys, I don't care if they're federal agents, they're stealing from us, to arrest them. And so it's obviously he's made it clear we're on our own. So why are we paying federal taxes? That's what I'd like to know. If we're on our own, in fact, they're stealing from us. On top of that, why the heck are we paying federal taxes or listening to anything that clown has to say? So, you know, it's clear. I think Newsom made that statement the other day, and he's kind of taking baby steps. He said nation state. The next step would be to drop the state word. So obviously we're heading in that direction, and we have to. And other states should too, because it's bad. You know, I'm from the East Coast originally, New York, and I know they want no part of this clown either, or this banana Republican, and that's what it is, a banana Republican. That's all it is now.
Yeah, agree.
Any other thoughts, Bob?
Any other thoughts? Well, simply that California is a G7 nation by any measure. Even before this, we would have been better off. We've got a larger economy than almost every nation. Clearly, if a country like Canada has a richer middle class than California, when they have a smaller population and economy than ours, we can do it. Our contributions to the military budget, or say a war budget alone, of about $100 billion per year, is 3.5% of our GDP. We don't need to spend even half of that to defend ourselves, which means we would have $50 billion per year extra for things like healthcare, UBI, universal healthcare. The reason we can't fund that is because we're supporting a war machine. That's why. So we have to have full control of our resources, all of our resources, and set our own policies. And that would definitely improve a lot of things. I wouldn't mind talking about this whole quarantine thing and how the changes in the economy because of the quarantine are and need to be lasting changes, but I don't want to take too much time.
We'll come back to that. We'll come back to special.
We'll come back to that.
Okay. Don Sutton. Brother, are you there?
Yes, I am.
In 5 minutes, what is it that you think is really key for Californians to know about the movement that you've been in for years? How has it evolved? What's going on right now that you think is really important?
So in real estate, we have a saying that you have to educate your people to understand what the benefits of owning a home is. And all this discussions I see on the emails and everything else have nothing about the benefits of actually having independent California on terms of down to the nitty-gritty families. So when I talk to people about California independence, I get very few people who say, oh, hell no, I don't want to be independent. I get a lot of yeses, but the issue is that they want to know what the benefits are. Remember, what's in it for me? And if you cannot communicate that in 5 simple statements with 5 facts showing why we need to do this, it's not going to sell to someone who has a small business and has a family of 4 to support. It's not going to sell to a single mom trying to raise 2 kids working in 2 part-time jobs. And it's certainly not going to be sellable to the people that have a lot of money to support initiatives like the one we want to have, such as the unions or the business people in the state. The fact of the matter is that everything needs to fit on a 3x5 postcard. 5 facts why we have to do this, and 5 benefits to the common Californian. I'm going to benefit because of this. I'm going to benefit because of this. My family's going to benefit because of this. The community's going to benefit because of this. And it cannot be affiliated with any other country, any other independence movement, or anything outside of California, because it gives a bad image. It will not pass the eye test to someone who is sitting there going, God, California, it makes sense to have California that's independent, but why am I affiliating with people in Russia? Why am I affiliated with people in Scotland? That doesn't have nothing to do with me here locally in my little basic town. So we need to really look at that in terms of, if we really want to grow the movement, you've got to educate people on the benefits to them. What's in it for them to be independent from the rest of the country? That's it.
That's excellent, dude. I wrote out 5 today, and you just gave me the idea for my next video. But you're right. We should all be thinking about 5 things. And we don't have to agree. We don't have to agree, but Don's right about marketing. We should all be thinking about 5 things that you can say to an average working class person on the street, and they go, oh, I'm not going to say what those 5 are. Let's not have that debate right now, but I totally agree with Don. And as we've seen with Hannah and others, market, try. I think that's a great homework assignment for everyone in the movement. Let's all go home and write 5 basic things.
Because the thing is the people that we need money to actually convince people in a marketing manner what's in it for them. So in order to convince the people with money, we got to come up with the 5 things that are necessary to get the money and the 5 things that are going to benefit everybody for them to support.
Right. Okay, let's go to a great topic. Keep it in mind. Same thing, like Bob really laid out some great stuff. So take notes. We'll circle back around. Just want to make sure everyone gets involved. Hal Lore. You're next on the list.
Oh, I probably should unmute my mic then.
So
All right.
in a couple minutes, Hal, what's going on in California? What are you seeing? What do people, independents, California nationalists need to know right now?
Okay. Well, let me go from micro to macro. First off, I want to talk about what's going on with IC for a sec. IC basically decided that we will be revising our website. We will be to stress the activism end of IC rather than the intellectual. We're going to be moving to make our message more bumper sticker, more accessible. So that's hopefully will help to fill a niche within the movements. With that in mind, it also brings IC more in line with the goals of the California independence movement in general, and with the interests of the PAC as well, which means that IC will now fit the description that will be on those pages.
Oh,
I've been busy. Actually, we've been busy. As far as California goes, this week has been, in some ways, it's been an absolute dream. The governor has so much as basically declared, well, we're independent, and everything he's said since has gone in direct confrontation to what the current U.S. administration has said. They said no, they're going to open up by May 1st. An hour later, he announces that we're going to be closed till May 15th. We couldn't. I mean, love the guy or hate the guy, you couldn't ask for a better response.
Yeah.
And all of this is happening while we're all stuck in our living rooms
watching.
Yeah. I think the main thing that we want to take out of this is that we are going to need to up our media game. We're going to need to up our media game from home. We can't be in the streets, which means that we're going to be we can't be doing things that are going to get us media coverage, that are going to get us out there. We must move in a manner that's going to make sure that we don't find ourselves behind the wave when it happens.
What do you mean?
That's where I'm at now. I'm not going to speak to the PAC. I'll let Hannah do that, because of course right now it's still her baby, and I am totally happy with that. Happy with the direction we're going there. But right now, and I'm going to say this to all of us because we're all here right now. There is a danger that we're going to end up on the sidelines if we don't get moving. This movement can pass us by. These moments can pass us by. We need to find a way. We need to find a way to move forward. And blitzing Facebook is nice, but there is that joke that says, if they shut down Facebook, it's like, would that be the end of your activism? We need to come up with a better plan, folks. That would be my time. That's where I'm at.
Okay. Good. All right, let's go to Jay Arias from Baja. You don't have to talk, Jay. I know you're there. Jay Arias, Baja?
I don't think he's here.
Okay. I'll hold you a place, Jay. John Pomeroy. John? I saw John come in. Okay, we'll hold a placeholder for him.
Yeah,
I'm
John.
on.
John.
John. Cool.
I wanted to direct people to the chat, so I don't really want to talk.
John, you got 5 minutes. What's going on and what do people need to know about, brother, right now?
If people could direct their focus to the chat, that would be great.
Oh, Shankar, you're there. Okay, so how do we get to the chat? I think it's participants at the bottom screen. Chat. Okay, so if everybody goes to the bottom.
You literally,
Yeah,
what you can do is just click, guys, take your cursor and click in the upper right-hand screen of any person. Well, actually, that's for private chat.
no, there's a
There's a
Yeah,
bottom.
there's a chat.
there's a chat on the
If you go to the
top.
very bottom,
On the bottom, you
very
go to
bottom.
chat. See,
There
there's
it
a
is.
bar on the
At
bottom.
the bottom, and it says, yeah,
Chat.
yeah, never mind.
So John's asking everybody to, for his 5 minutes, go to the chat room. As Hannah and Dan said, go to the bottom of your screen, click the buttons. You should see an option to click chat. If you click that, you can go, and that's where we're going to have the discussion. Okay, John, everybody's coming over to the chat. What would you like to talk about, brother?
Return California.
Okay.
Okay.
You do a deaf person. Oh, there's Jay. He's back.
Okay, Jay, we'll get to you in a second. John, brother, what'd you like to say, brother?
He's saying amplify indigenous
Return
voices,
California, amplifying.
deferring to their
Is
judgment.
everybody on the video in the chat room right now?
I am.
I am.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I am too. Bob Timlin, have you got in there yet?
Yes.
Because I can't even figure out how to do it. Ah.
At the bottom of your screen, there's a button that says chat.
Oh, there it is.
You click on that,
right.
and it should open up the chat on the right.
That's what I'll do it. Right. I went in another room. Okay, that's definitely the way to do it. Got it. Thank you, Bob.
You're welcome.
So it's right now. You guys who don't know, he's talking about. See where there's a green button that says "Share Screen" is to the left.
Removing our
I think
individual
John wanted to
egos from
just-
this conversation. He's saying an individual's opinion is relevant at this point. This is about a collective. Bioregion, monitoring with nature.
Hey, Daniel,
Yeah.
you probably don't want to read aloud.
Okay.
I just realized you're trying to read aloud.
Everybody's done, but I was doing it for the people that weren't on before.
Yeah.
Yeah, on Facebook Live, that's just not going to work.
Oh, really? Is it
Point.
echo?
No, because they can't. They wouldn't have a view that's good enough to be able to see this on their.
Oh, for the chat, yeah, but for the videos they can.
So there's no point in trying to read it to people.
Well, I mean, should we say it aloud so that
for the
people know it?
Yes, if you want to read it. Yeah, then Dan, why don't you read it out?
Go ahead,
this is
Marcus.
the words of John
You narrate.
Pomeroy, everybody.
Marcus, you there?
Are you sure? Okay.
No, I said Dan should do it because Dan's right next to the microphone. See, that's why I said,
right.
Dan, you read it. For technical reasons, that's why you should read it, because you're next to the microphone, you'll be the clearest.
Alliances with other organizations who are demanding immediate and meaningful change, empowering the collective. So it should be read out loud. This isn't my voice, that's the point. Okay, will do.
There you go, everybody.
I'm speaking for those whose voices have been silenced for millennia.
So John's talking about Return California, which is the plan to give all federal land back to Indigenous people as a way of starting the conversation of making up for the genocide orchestrated by the California government in the 1850s. John has had a couple good conversations in Return California with different Indigenous groups on video saying they're open to that, which has been great outreach with Indigenous I think he's just saying Return California is about amplifying their voices, deferring to their judgment, removing our egos from the conversation because it's about the indigenous. And we need to have alliances with people.
I'm speaking for those whose voices.
All right, we'll give this another minute. And we'll,
as outreach director, their voices are my voice. We are making maps showing traditional territorial boundaries and how synonymous those are with bioregions. So John's, from what I've heard before, is really into bioregions. From what I've heard, right, Marcus?
yes. Well, because he went to the Unity conference, and John was very impressed with the Cascadia movement presentation there about bioregions.
That's right.
He looked into that. You know. He thought that was just very, because apparently the idea of a bioregion comes from the indigenous up there. So the Cascadian movement made their kind of understanding of their area to be about this indigenous concept. And so he was very impressed with that.
So then he says, aligning
now
with
he's talking about.
Go ahead.
Go ahead. No, Daniel, go ahead. Sorry.
No, just as he's typing, I'm following. Aligning with indigenous land trusts across the state. Soga Road, I guess. Ama Mutson. Here in Bay Area, need each of us to check in with the nations near their physical locations, find initiatives that are spearheaded locally. So a bit of libertarian thinking also in there.
Kind of cool, yeah.
There's 300 plus tribes in California. Majority have these land trust initiatives.
There you go.
California means returning land. We are the virus. I said that a little bit earlier about humanity in general.
Okay, about one more minute, John, and then I'm going to have us go back to the main chat.
John, did you want to speak a little bit? I know that you're a Bernie fan. Did you want to speak a little bit on that topic, or you rather stay with this?
John's undergoing some difficult family issues right at this minute, so I think that's why he's trying to just text. Our hearts and minds are out with you right now, John. John's fine. He had some family issues he has to deal with. Okay, in response to your question about Bernie, he says, we, not him. John constantly talked about how he loved the Bernie Sanders slogan of us, not him. His brother-in-law, yes, his sister, husband was killed yesterday in Oceanside. John drove down to Hannah's region, picked up his sister and his niece, and drove them back to Grass Valley. So it's a tender moment right at this moment. The police officers are still looking into it. We're not sure exactly what happened. So he's just trying to stay cool for his family members. His sister and his nieces, I understand, and John are fine, but they did lose someone. So okay, I'm going to do a little executive action and yeah, it does. Okay, let's move on. Nothing but love, John. I'm going to ask everybody to go back to the main video conference.
Yep.
Okay. Next person is Matt Owens. Matt Owens?
Matt, your mic, we can't hear you.
Matt, are you there?
He's there, but we can't hear him.
He's muted.
He's
Just
muted.
just unmute yourself, Matt.
Okay, Jay. We'll come back to Matt. Jay, are you there?
I am here, yes. Good.
Yes.
Okay, Jay. You're in the family. Jay from Baja. Jay, you got 5 minutes. What do we need to know? What's going on? And could you talk about that news article in the main newspaper in Mexico for the first time ever by the top international affairs reporter that talked about, holy shit, California's talking about seceding, and that was the first time a Mexico newspaper printed that, and the reporter who printed that is somebody who has the authority to make that statement, and that's kind of significant that Mexico's saying, holy fuck, what just happened up north? Jay, could you talk a little bit about that for 5 minutes, brother?
Sure. Good afternoon, everyone. Jay Drago here from MIBC, Baja California Independence Movement. And at the Jornada newspaper, which is a major newspaper in Mexico, Alfredo Jalife Rame, which is the top geopolitical analyst of Mexico, also a Nobel Prize winner and a medical surgeon from the National University of Mexico, has been doing geopolitical analysts for a few years already, and is one of the original founders of the ruling party of Morena at the moment. He has been usually calling the shots of what has been going on with all the relations between Russia and China and the US, and how Mexico plays a part here whenever something goes down. He has a lot of books, and today he was talking about the governor of California's speech about becoming a nation state. And yeah, yes. Oh, okay, sorry. So he did an in-depth analysis of what the COVID virus is going on and doing havoc on California, especially how this facial mask war around the world is going on, who gets the biggest resources and how they're going to be spread out, how Trump is basically not paying attention to people around the world around him. And it's very saddening that Mexico also has a president who did not foresee the dangers of this COVID virus, and now we are reaching 4,000 infected around the nation. I know it doesn't compare to California, but Baja California has been getting infected about exponentially every day, especially with having California one of the most infected states as a neighbor. It's a surprise that they haven't closed down the borders, but going back to Alfredo Jalife Rame's commentary, he says that it is very possible that this could be a only serious statement by the governor of California becoming a nation state, and how they could just break apart with the federal pact and with Trump because of the he's not doing the resources in the way that it's good for everybody. Mexico is going through something like that right now, and our current governor, Bonilla, is doing a great job at handling the crisis here with the COVID-19 and dealing with companies that do not want to close down their offices for people who are working at home. They're basically forcing a lot of people to work in their plants. And what happened this week is we in Tijuana, in Baja California, there is a company that produces respirators. So since there's a maquiladora scheme that works this way, we import all of the parts, we build them here, and they export them back to the United States. That's how it works. Now, the issue with the respirators is the government requested, you know what, we would like to buy a few from you, you know, because we need a lot of respirators too. It's going to get ugly around here, and we want to be able to be ready for whatever's coming up. The company said no, because these are for export only, and these are already been sold. Okay, then the governor said you're going to have to close down your plant because you're not working for the benefit of the people of Baja California, and you don't want to help out. We're not asking you to give us anything away. We want to buy them from you, you know, as a temporary thing, because we're going to need them. The company said no, so the government said, you know what, then we're going to have to close you down for the rest of the quarantine until everything blows over, and then you can get back to work. So that's part of the news here in Baja California. And I've already asked the leader of the MIBC, Felipe Ledesma, to talk with the governor in respects to what the governor of California said. If you become independent, if you break away, we're coming with you. We're going to break down with the border.
Yeah.
We're going to become one great California, Gran California. If this happens, this is going to be awesome. We're going to be not just donor states to the world. We're going to be probably the 8th, or we're going to be in the top 10 financial producers around the world. And it's a great honor to be among the people doing the events here, to be the starting seeds here.
Okay. Jay, great. And we'll come back around to everybody. I just want to make sure everybody gets their moment to talk about whatever they think is important. Matt Owens. Matt, are you there? We skipped you, brother, but we're still here. Are you there?
Yes, thank you. You didn't really skip me. It's just been kind of, you know, people coming in and out. Well, first of all,
Just a couple minutes, brother. Just keep it to 5, but whatever you want to cover.
5 minutes. Well, a lot of it's speaking in support of what other people have been saying. First of all, I'd very much like to thank Jay and his organization for their efforts. Politically, you've won. Okay, you won already in Baja. You've done what we're trying to do, and you've managed to stay united, which, you know, has been, but of course, we're 40 million versus 4 million. So to try and keep us all on the same page is 10 times more challenging, naturally. Okay, but yeah, to hear that Governor Bonilla is taking such forthright action to ensure that what's made in Baja, at least in part, stays in Baja, is outstanding. And we are making respirators too to make up for the shortage. I believe it was Hannah that pointed out at one point that there's 4 outfits just in North San Diego County that are making respirators and so on. Masks, a whole bunch of places making those. Medicines. Well, first of all, if you know, Trump is making a huge strategic error by, you know, rummaging in the surplus bin and getting us broken ventilators, rotten masks, and so on, when folks in other countries are more than willing to supply us, you know, freshly manufactured things immediately. Okay, those are already being imported. They're being imported from China, they're being imported from Russia, they're being imported from other countries, and we're exporting too. Okay, California on its own is exporting. Any day now, if it hasn't happened already, Mexico is about, and that would include for the moment the Baja states, and if they don't receive this, they've got a complaint against the Mexican federal government. Is about to receive Cuban treatment medicines, an interferon derivative that seems to be working. You know, they tested in Cuba first, and then they're exporting it to China massively. They're exporting it to African countries and other places, and they're exporting it also to Mexico. So they'll have that medicine, and we won't here in Alta because we're part of the U.S. Unless the what is it? The what is it of the Californias? The Commission of the Californias is convened actually and arranges for the importation of the Cuban medicines to all of the Californias. Baja won't have any problem. The two states of Baja won't have any problem because they're Mexican states at the moment. We can't do that yet. But if the Commission of Californias convenes so that the Cuban medicines can be imported to Alta as well as Baja, oh, surprise, surprise. And if the U.S. government dares interfere with that, the way they're taking away, not just in California, in New York and other places, they're taking away the means to combat this. FEMA is coming in. And, you know, first of all, at the point of supply, they're taking over the supplies. And also at the hospitals, at the point of demand, they're taking that too. They're taking everything. They're pirates. They're just the opposite of what the Cubans are doing. They're just the opposite of what California is doing. Okay? They're pirates. And we need to stop this piracy cold. Okay, Marcus, you had some amazing points on the 10 things that Governor Newsom, on his own initiative, can do now to move us closer to independence. And one of the things is interdicting the pirates, interdicting the kidnappers that the feds send to us, okay? So that a 911 call can be placed and officers placed between these pirates and kidnappers and so on, and our people. So we got to step up our game because you know what? A couple of things that were championed by Bernie Sanders, that is to say, universal basic income of at least $2K a month, and universal health care, which, you know, his was kind of a compromise version, but look around the world and see who's fighting this and beating this and who's losing. Those two demands right there are survival demands. We need to get behind them because you know what? If we as a movement do not get behind those survival demands and other such things like, you know, backing the rent strike, which I had somebody else remind me about. If we don't get behind those, somebody else is going to exploit them. So you've got, you know, if we want to be, you know, it's like bread, peace, and land was for Russia. It's anybody who made those demands was going to win. Anybody. So if we want to win, we want to go for the win. We've got to get behind those demands. Or else somebody else is going to take those demands, you know, from us, and they're going to run with it. That's what we're faced with now.
Okay. Very good, very good, very informative. Shankar, I saw you there, brother. I know you're there.
You can't see me? Hey, what's up? Hey, yeah. Don. Good to see you, Don. It's been, I think, a good couple of years, man.
Oh, hold up, Shankar. Daniel wants to say something real quick, and then we're going to go to Shankar.
I will get back to what you wrote, Dan. I'm sorry I haven't responded yet, bro.
Just
Daniel, real quick, and then we're going to go to Shankar.
Just on a technical thing, Sue was saying that she wasn't hearing very well, so I raised the volume on my computer. Sue, if you could just message me and tell me if that's better. Thanks. Okay.
Very cool. Just for everyone's information, Sue and Daniel were going to jointly monitor the Facebook. So this is also a technical test for CALEXIT CON next weekend. Thanks, Daniel. Thanks, Sue. Thanks, Hannah. Thanks, everybody. Okay, Shankar, what's going on?
Hey, what's up, everybody? Happy Sunday. So before I get into the crux of what I wanted to say, I want to touch on what Pomeroy was saying. As far as giving natives land back, look, guys, we can do the gesture. They're not going to take it back. They're going to leave it exactly the same because they have so much infighting between them. They won't know how to decide it. It would be an excellent gesture to say that was our first priority because that would win over so many people, including them, and would scare the shit out of the United States. Again, I don't think the Native Americans are going to do anything different than we have right now, but it's an awesome gesture to have for the movement. The second thing was the secession movement. So I don't care what country you're trying to form, whether it's in Scotland or in Brazil or Spain. Guess what? Either the U.S. has fucked with your elections or the Russians have fucked with your elections or both have fucked with your elections. Now, if we're going to play that game and fall into that trap, and here in the United States, it's the Russians, of course, we can. Or we can get around it and get above it. I suggest we get above it. I'm not saying they can do anything, but let's have that attitude like, oh, God. Because Scotland and Russia have this connection. Scotland ignored it completely and just said it was ridiculous. But if you Google up Scotland and Russia, there's tons of articles about how Russia is influencing Scottish independence. Okay, so look, guys, this is what my main crux of what I want to say is this. This is going to sound weird. God bless COVID. This is a boon. This is a gigantic boon. And here's why. This is a system changer. This isn't a game changer. This isn't an emotion. This is a systems changer on multiple levels. So right now what we have is Bernie, a bunch of progressives here in California are absolutely fed up with the Democratic Party. They are done. If you go on any YouTube channel or you watch any YouTube, their main goal now is to change the Democratic Party. Like that's ever going to happen. It's not. Those are our targets, the disaffected Bernie people. Because there was an article that the market said that America disaffecting Bernie, when Bernie dropped out, it wasn't America rejecting Bernie, it was America rejecting California, because California is the only state that carried Bernie through, all the way through every election. And it's them rejecting our ideals by stopping Bernie. That's how we've got to show it, guys. And then you've got Trump 2020, who's going to win. He's going to win because Biden doesn't have a chance in hell. He's going to win. We have to plug that in. And then Newsom, he knows what's up. Newsom knows exactly what he's saying. Every speech he says. When we gave those ventilators over there, 500 ventilators, he said some concerned Californians were worried about the ventilators being gone and we wouldn't have any. Nobody said that. Nobody said that. He's saying that strictly to show that, hey, we have people here that love it here and don't like you very much. That's exactly what he was saying when he said that. And then when he said, oh, we're Americans, we have to support them, you can tell that was all absolute lip service. This man knows exactly what he wants. And he doesn't want to be president of the United States. He wants to be president of California. And by God, I'm going to help him do it, dude. So look, how are we going to do this? How are we going to do this is separate. I think the most important thing is, and I think I approach almost every single person here about it. One, running candidates on an independent platform. Now, you can be registered Democrat, Republican, whatever it is, but you want to be running as an independent candidate. You can be run as a Republican, you can run as a Democrat, you can run as a Green. I don't care. But as long as you put California independence first on your thing, perfect. We want to get it. That's how Scotland is doing it. Second would be propaganda, guys. The memes. We've got to start plugging it. Because guess what? It's not about going out on the streets anymore. We go on the streets, we die. So no more rallies, no more events, no more marches. That shit's over with, guys. No one's doing that shit anymore because of COVID, all right? Which is great. This is our COVID's almost doing our job for us, man. So we have to make our presence felt online, which we can be bigger than we actually are online. But we've got to get one, Hal's memes. Those are brilliant. Those always get a bunch of hits on our social media. Hannah's Cal Pride products. Dude, we've got to start putting that shit out in stores. Every online store we can find, we've got to put the Cal Pride products that and properly brand those line of products for California as for here. And then I don't know how much time I have left, Marcus, but I'm almost done here. And then of course we've got putting articles on propaganda on. Okay, and this is why I'm saying this, because it's not about showing other Californians what we gain from being independents. We're California, dude. We're top of the game anyways. It's what we're defending. It's what we're protecting. It's what we have to do. So we have to put articles out and get the news out on social media and on the web about Arkansas starting their 2-week period on Monday. Now, we've been at this 3 weeks. We've slowed our numbers down. Are they going to keep coming over here? Do we close our borders? We need to protect our citizens here. What about these mass shooters that come over here with firearms, not legal here? They bring them over here, shoot up a bunch of Californians in the back, leave. I mean, this state needs protection from the U.S. And we've got to put articles out like that, guys, to show that what we're gaining is our protection and safety. That's what we need to show out there. And to do all this, I think I've spoke to almost all of you here about putting your name out as a candidate. I hope that's still good. But this is how we're going to do it. We need web specialists. We need web specialists, social media specialists, graphics. We need if we can find 3 or 4 people, and I don't know if we have to pay them or what, but I hope they're down with California to put this out. What I just mentioned, turn that into revenue, into money, and then take that money and put it into either legislation or more propaganda or Cal Pride products. Okay, Shankar, you still there? Is anyone else still there? It went silent on my end.
Yeah.
Influence them a little bit.
Yeah, everything's fine.
Hey, Shankar, we lost you.
We lost.
Okay, well, Shankar, last comments, Shankar? No, I hope everybody's safe and I don't know, wash your hands. So let's I just got to say I love where Shankar's at. So I love Shankar being in the movement because what I just saw was leadership. It was somebody saying, we need to do this, we need to do this, we need to do this. I'm going to go ahead and get doing it. And you did it just the way I love it, which is I'm letting you know you should do this. And I'm going to go ahead and get doing it. I'm not waiting on you doing it. This is me as a buddy saying, hey, if you're going over the same thing, you should jump in this, but I'm going to go ahead and get started. So love the attitude, love the leadership, love the ideas. Shankar is exactly where all of us should go with that. Even if you don't necessarily like some of Shankar's ideas, the tone that he gave of here's some shit we should be doing right now. And I'm going to get you hit start. I've been talking with Hal and Daniel about that for 6 months, and Hannah and all of you. That's the attitude. I'm getting moving. Hope you're going along, but if you're not, there's too much shit going on right now for me to wait for you. California independence is waiting. I'm moving. So what I'd like to do with that is we're going to go back around. You have 3 minutes.
Wait, Hannah didn't get to speak, did she?
Hannah, did you not get to go?
No, she didn't go. You're muted, Hannah. Somehow we can't hear you.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, I was muting for the benefit of everyone else. Yeah, you passed right over me, Marcus.
Oh, I'm okay.
H&M. I couldn't figure it out, but I just quietly thought you would just let me go last.
Don't worry.
I made a mistake. It's Hannah's turn.
Okay.
Let's give 5 minutes to Hannah. What's going on? What do we need to pay attention to, Hannah?
Okay, everybody. Let me turn the volume up, my own audio up. Jay, first, that's a great article about from Mexico. I'd really like. I don't think you posted on Facebook because I think it would have popped up on my news feed. Hey, are you there? Yeah. So can you make?
Yeah. No, sorry, I don't do Facebook. I'm not active in Facebook.
That's a problem.
well, at least maybe can you post it up on the Momento for Baja California?
Excellent.
Okay, I'll tell somebody to do that. I'm not in charge of social media sites. But okay.
Yeah, because you know what I mean. I mean, I can read Spanish, but I cannot read Spanish I do not know about. Shankar, I hope you're sharing my article to Bernie Sanders people. You know, the people who want democratic socialism, they should get behind California because we can do it when the US can't or won't.
Give me your article. Is your article on the email thread? On the email?
Probably is, but it's also on the callib.com site.
Okay, I'll go.
On one of the posts. They're all going up on posts right now. Yeah. So you just right there in the sidebar, bang, you're going to hit it. cal-lib.com. That's kind of where I'm putting out all the materials. Pretty soon there's going to be a new site too for media releases. So we got posts on one side, media releases on the other. Got it? But the posts are like the official word of the pack. So, okay, Godspeed. I want to say that The COVID situation, gentlemen, I think really illustrates how independence for California is not a theoretical question like it's always been addressed as, but is a practical issue. And I cannot emphasize that more. I don't want to say in terms of that, I'm not going to say that COVID's a good thing or anything, but it puts, it's like the acid test of democracy, and democracy is just, dissolving in the acid. The quote of Oliver Wendell Holmes from 1881, The Path of the Law, I think really reminds me, or in the common law, really brings to my mind here. The life of the law has not been logic. It has been experience. The felt necessities of the time, the prevalent moral and political theories, intuitions of public policy, avowed or unconscious, even the prejudices which judges share with their fellow men have had a good deal more to do with the law than the syllogism in determining the rules by which men should be governed. The law embodies the story of a nation's development through many centuries, and it cannot be dealt with as if it contained only the axioms and corollaries of a book of mathematics. I see I'm not going to name names here, but I see a lot of debate about political theory without any reference to the facts on the ground as they are today, and that is all that matters. That is all that matters, because human survival is at stake here, people. Okay? And if everybody dies, or if society collapses, it won't really matter if it was libertarians or socialists or capitalists or Democrats or fascists or monarchists or anybody else who was involved. Okay, thank you. Jay just shared this page. That's not the way to do it, Jay. Maybe email me then or something. Okay, I want to tell you that lawyers like me are helpful because we can propose options that are completely, or at least reasonably consistent with the law, even though they are not what we've previously done. Because what we've previously done either isn't working or, more importantly, isn't being ignored by the judges that are supposedly in charge of the law. I've been accused, for instance, of endorsing violence.
Oh, you do?
But I think I have responded to those charges. But the more point I think about is the fact that nothing in my legal training teaches me what to do when the judges ignore the law, ignore the legal traditions, and just go out and just use their power to impose the rules they think are meet their political orientation. I can even hear my own voice. I can even hear my own voice, gentlemen, from the 1990s, early 1990s, and I went to law school. I can hear my own voice saying, what do you do when the judges ignore the law? And that question is still not being answered, except only history answers it, and then it's not a pretty answer.
Mm-mm. You know, it is not.
Okay. Now, as far as Baja and California and virus tests and ventilators and all the rest, I want to say it's important there be cooperation between the states in both countries. We've seen too much competition. We've seen mutual interference, and we've seen a constant battle of what we call fait accompli, the accomplished fact. I did it. Now what are you going to do about it? Kind of approach to life. And then force majeure. I've got more power, therefore you have to do what I say. And it becomes like this. And it's no end. That's not the way we're going to save the people all around the world. And let's not forget, by the way, we're just seeing the tip of it. I mean, Africa has yet to see this virus, and they haven't got a health system worth 10 cents compared to the USA, as bad as the USA system is. I'm getting to the end of my notes here. What I said about launching a November 20 ballot initiative, I want to repeat here. It's important to not just be talking about political theories or even what form of government you'd like to see in California. It's important to be doing stuff. And what that really means is shifting public opinion for independence, or seeing independence as a reasonable option for California or something like that. And it can't be a discussion just within 28 people on an email thread. It's got to go broad. I've been talking to Marcus about how do we get our art material into the Los Angeles Times. Now, I'm not going to take California Liberation as that piece. What I plan to do is propose that the United States government. This is a good teachable moment, folks. I want to propose the United States government become a kick out Donald Trump, kick out Pence, and put the government under new leadership, which would be I call it a provisional unity government, in which the two presidents I propose to be in charge of this would be George W. Bush, because George W. Bush and Barack Obama, two experienced presidents who, by the way, cannot actually be reelected under the law of the United States, and then let them take over the COVID problem. And then we don't have to worry about the 2020 elections, because these two guys could just be in charge until 2024, when we can have a real democracy again, which I point out to you is also an answer to the problem that we're facing. Hi, Steph. Where we're going to, is an answer to the problem we're going to face, which is that Republicans are going to just cancel the 2020 elections, period, or they're going to make them so meaningless so that basically Donald Trump will be reappointed as president of the United States. He may become president for life. So, and it's not just me talking about it. Did you see the email I circulated where you've got an article in Salon and an article in Slate.com that basically say the same thing? They're using the COVID crisis for their own political purposes, even though it's going to cost the lives of thousands and maybe millions of Americans. And they're using it for their political purposes. And in the end is the end of democracy as we know it. So I'm also concerned, as much as we love, I'm getting to the end here, but I'm also really concerned as much as we're plotting Governor Newsom. And by all means, we should keep doing it, because it's very important to maintain public opinion. We should all be writing letters saying how much we love Governor Newsom and how he's making you feel confident. It makes me feel really confident, like, by God, we got somebody over there. We got a government in Sacramento that is caring about me and caring about my family and taking this very seriously and not afraid to break some eggs and and ruffle feathers to do it because they're in charge. And that's ultimately what politics is about, right? It's all about leadership. But I'm really concerned that Trump's just going to use the federal forces like he's already doing on a small scale, on a large scale. So that, for instance, if Newsom starts handing out hundreds of thousands of ventilators, he's just going to send federal agents to swoop in and take those federal those N95 masks away, because he's going to say, I have the power to do this. Until somebody's willing to stand up to him, with or without firearms, that's not going to stop. So the last thing I'll say is that, as you know, because we got a president who literally goes on the basis of who's going to stop me? I mean, that could literally be the motto of this administration. Who's going to stop you? Well, you and what army? I almost think we need an army, a citizen army, because, although I like to call it the Home Guard, because I like to remind you, there was Great Britain once had a situation where they weren't sure if they had an army either. So what happened? Millions of British people spent their evenings training to fight the Wehrmacht. Are you aware of that? Because they had no other choice. The choice was submit to the Nazis or fight them. And Winston Churchill's biography says he was prepared to quite literally sacrifice the life of everyone in Britain before he was going to allow the Nazis to take over Great Britain. He sort of condemns the countries in Europe that sort of said, like Denmark, that gave up the battle in exactly 12 hours. Seriously, 12 hours is how long the war with Germany and Denmark lasted. Anyways, if that sounds like I'm not advocating, but I do think that we play an important role here. The sanitizer project I'm still working on. I'm sitting here right now thinking whether or not I shouldn't ask my college to give me a leave of absence because I need more time to put those sanitizer bottles out. But I'm also like this close to being ready to start working on it. And I thank you for your orders, by the way. We got enough to get started. Okay. And John Stimchild just gave me another lead for more supplies. And eventually I'm going to involve you guys directly and all that. So those are the, I think that's about 5. And thank you for your time. The messages I want to say is, it's good to talk on the line, but it doesn't substitute for just trying to get the messages. To get that, once you've got a clear message, try to get it out into the newspapers and otherwise. And then also don't forget, you don't have to mention CALEXIT. I guess here's what I'm trying to say. I will conclude saying this.
Okay, one more
When
minute,
I
Hannah.
talked about a universal provisional government, I wasn't saying that because I think that's really going to happen. I'm saying that because it's something that there are people in this country who will be ready to accept right now, and it's something that won't happen. It's important to make, if you want to advance California independence, ironically, you need to sit around and drill your brain and try to think of, is it A, are a good idea, B, people will support, and C, will not have, people will believe are necessary, and then D, will not happen. Because by making demands that won't be met, you will create enough frustration such that people will then move for full independence.
Okay. All right. Thank you, Hannah. Really appreciate it. Awesome thoughts, as always. High-level thinking. So, Stephanie. Stephanie Kamari? Stephanie?
We love you.
Yeah, I'm here. Hello.
Okay. Stephanie, we've been giving everybody 5 minutes to talk about whatever they think is important to CalExit, California independence. What's going on now, Stephanie, that you think everyone in California or the California independence movement should know? Real quick before you start, Stephanie will get her 5 minutes. Then we're going to go back around to everybody. You will get 3 minutes to comment on whatever everybody said. And we're going to go person by person so that everybody gets a chance to dialogue. Then we'll do open dialogue after that. So Stephanie's going to talk, then everybody gets a chance to comment. Then open dialogue. So Stephanie.
First of all, before I start, Marcus, are you drinking all that coffee yourself? There's a lot of coffee cups right there.
In one day.
Sorry, had to comment.
Those are coffee.
Yeah, I'm a coffee head, and I'm an addict, but I can quit anytime I want. I just don't want to quit. But I'm in total control, and I can quit at any moment that I choose.
You have a good partner right
I
here.
just don't want to
He
choose.
loves coffee.
So, Stephanie, what have you noticed in the news? What are you hearing from your friends and family? What's going on right now? And then we'll do a round table.
Right now, I have been talking a lot to different folks, even outside of California, a lot outside of the world. I mean, in the world, outside of the U.S., and they are all for CalExit. They think there's a few of my family members that think I'm absolutely insane.
Welcome to the club. And
yeah, welcome to the club.
So they think I'm kind of the black sheep of the family. So why not add another one? And a lot of people are saying to me, like, yeah, California is a nation. Didn't our governor just say that? And I'm like, yeah, he did. So do you support it? And a lot of people say, well, look at this situation here, versus, in New York or something else. They say, this is what a leader is. And which is kind of, my caretaker is coming home, so you're gonna have to hear my dogs for a second. Hi, I'm on call. That's all right. And so killer. And he's, so I think people are getting the message that we can do this. And You know, it might not be today or tomorrow, but the voice is circulating. And that's really cool because now it's giving me some merit to talk to others. Let's see. Yeah, and I think that, you know, more people won't say that they're supportive, and they really are, with all that stuff.
Yep.
You know, people are afraid of change, and that's to be expected and understood, I guess. And yeah, so my mom said even she would actually move to California if we became a nation. But other than that, no, she won't.
Okay.
Yeah.
Other thoughts, Stephanie?
I am trying to get some art together to promote CALEXIT and stuff like that. I'm a resin artist. I don't know how many of you guys knew that. I think you're the only one, Marcus.
I love the resin art. Stephanie does great art in resin.
It's a lot of fun. And I'm needing more resin because this quarantine has gotten me resin crazy, and it's expensive. It's like $100 for a gallon.
Okay. Well, I can start shipping you small quantities. So last minute comments, Stephanie. Big ideas everybody needs to be paying attention to right now, or things they need to be thinking about right now. So,
Well,
your opinion.
one thing that I've noticed is working at home. People have always said, no, you can't, you know, different people can't work at home, like the access to disabled people. And now everybody's like, oh, I can telework. I can do this. I can do that at home. And we're proving that we can be perfect members of society, which is awesome.
Okay. All right. So what I'd like to do is, so that we can keep a conversation going and get everybody included, we will have open discussion in a minute. But real quick, we're going to go back through the line. In 3 minutes, you can talk about anything, your opinion about anything anyone else said. Please keep it to what someone else said or how it reflects on what you said. 3 minutes. Bob, you're up first. What did you think about what anyone else said that you've heard over the little bit?
Well, first, I'm going to agree with Shankar about COVID being a game changer. Definitely, I've been working from home for years. It's going to fundamentally change our economy in good ways, very good ways. First of all, we see pollution levels dropping. I mean, climate change is virtually reversing itself because of this, which means if we just keep it up, you know, obviously we still have to do all the clean energy stuff and plant trees. But really, if we just keep this changes to our economy, shouldn't be temporary, they should be permanent, which means every job that can be done from home should be done from home, period. Study from home should be done, study from home. This is also going to have a major impact on our housing crisis. If people are working from home, they no longer have to commute to the coast. I mean, they no longer have to have an expensive place. Someone could live in Modesto and have a job in San Jose, and they go meet their boss one day a month. And the other rest of the month, they're working from their home office in Modesto, where housing is a lot cheaper. This could really fundamentally end the housing crisis. Second, think about all those office parks and stuff where people are currently going to where they have a cube. If they're working from home, now all of a sudden that office space is empty. Those office buildings could be converted into condos, affordable housing, and now people that actually have to be on site, because not every job can be done from home. Not every job can be done from home. You convert those unused office spaces to housing, maybe even live-work type housing, like lofts. Right now, you've got all kinds of housing in San Jose and San Francisco and LA, and you make a portion of it has to be affordable, right? Subsidized housing. So now people are working from home. All these empty offices are converted to housing, apartments and condos and stuff, and you've got a lot more affordable housing. So this can really fundamentally change the game. It really is a game changer. And it's a gift. I have to say call it a gift when people are dying, but it's a silver lining. Definitely it's a silver lining. I almost feel like it's Mother Earth sending us a message, right? Basically saying, hey, go to your room, you've been naughty, basically, right? And it's definitely a game changer. It's also a game changer because it's proving how incompetent the federal government under Trump is, and that we don't need them. Because it's California that's supplying ventilators to other states, not the federal government. The federal government, first of all, the federal government is sending everything Florida requests. Why? Because Trump knows if he loses Florida, it's over. That's why. So Florida is getting everything it requests, even though Florida did not shut down early, even though Florida is saying, hey, go back to the beaches or go to church. No big deal. So, but they're getting everything they want. New York, who's a major donor state, is not. We're not. We got 170 broken ventilators. So it's really proving that we don't need them, that the federal government is worse than useless. I mean, they are worse than useless. Saying they're useless would be a compliment. They're worse than useless. Just one more second. Then the other thing on the whole family thing, I have family in Ireland and Canada. They all think it's a great idea. A lot of them are saying, what have you waited so long for? And he's like, aren't you tired of those idiots? So, and then the one question I probably get more than anything else from both of them is, will it be easier to get a visa to come to California than That's the biggest question I get. And I'm like, I'll put in a good word for you.
Okay, all right. Let's go to, thank you, Bob.
You're welcome.
Let's go to Dan for 3 minutes, and then we're going to go to Dawn for 3 minutes. So Dan for 3 minutes, Dawn for 3 minutes. Dan, what did you think about what anybody said?
Stephanie mentioned she was a black sheep of the family, so am I. And we all have, I know at least Marcus and Hal have conservative family. We all do. We all have one of those, or a friend that's conservative somewhere. And mine happens to be my brother, which I love to death, get along, but we never talk politics because we're totally on opposite sides. But just the other day when the article came out of Gavin Newsom saying that we're a nation state, I sent him that article wanting to see what his reaction was, because we've talked about it in Better California. And to my surprise, I got a big smiley face, which is huge for my brother. So meaning that he was actually open to the idea finally of, and seeing it in an article with, a governor, with official saying it. He doesn't take from me, I can't convince him, but seeing it as an official stance, I think really influenced him to look at it. So again, these events that we've had this last week of Gavin Newsom was huge because it got seen by a lot of people. It's official. It's not just us always preaching, we'd be better off in the Better California. We got somebody in high office saying it. That was huge publicity for us, for our movement. With that being said, I don't want to react so much on other people's views. I agree, disagree on some of them, but we agree in general of what we should be doing. I just wanted to mention real quick that our next conference next week will be about the initiative that Marcus is going to talk a bit about that, the initiative that he's going to file in 2020. So he's going to talk about that a bit. We're going to talk with Hannah about her PAC, her Political Action Committee. She's going to explain this, and that this is very important, the PAC. I just want to mention that we have to support this. Also, Hannah's hand sanitizer. If you guys, I know we're on low on money a bit, but you can purchase it, and if you can advertise it, you can tell your friends. That would be great, because that's going back to the cause. And also Hannah's news, she's been working hard on so many levels, her news website where she's putting out articles. If you guys want to contribute articles, then I don't know how it works, but Hannah can explain how she can post them and everything like that. So with all these medias and this initiative and stuff, we're moving forward. These are all important things. Everything that you guys mentioned, social media, what Shankar said, action, of course, and that's going to be action through social media, through online, since we can't get out there. But that's good because it gives us more time to focus on all that. Where we were always saying, we don't have time, I have family, this. We don't have that many excuses anymore. So we can focus on the cause. And just want to thank you all for being here doing this test. And I hope you'll all be here next weekend. We're going to put out the details of exactly when with Marcus. We just have to talk about a few details on there. So thank you all, and let's keep up the good work.
Okay, Don Sutton, for about 3 minutes, brother. What did you think about what anybody said?
So everybody I talked to internationally, especially down in Mexico and in Europe, think the Cal independence is actually a great thing, that we should do it a long time ago. Even my father, who is a big Trump supporter, thinks it's a great idea, and he was born here. The thing about it is that we can easily influence the conversation by just typing up on Microsoft Word 5 facts of why California should be independent, do a little snippet of it as a JPEG, put it up on social media, and get the message out. As simple as that. It doesn't have to have a lot of graphics. It doesn't have to have a lot of gobbledygook policy making, because to be honest with you, for an independent, moderate voter who has a small family who's trying to support, Trump has nothing to do with California independence. The Democratic Party has nothing to do with it. Whatever political situation in their families or what they believe in is not a part of the conversation. It's simply, number one, California is losing money every year because we send too much money to the federal government, we get nothing back. Where California is, doing this, A, B, C, D, F, and 5 reasons why it benefits me. It benefits me for this reason, this reason, this reason, this reason. Okay, I'm going to support the PAC. I'm going to give money to the PAC. I'm going to go call people I know to get them to support it, and I'm going to work for the campaign. That's what has to happen. All the other policy crap, forgive me for saying this, I would love Baja to be part of the California talk right now, but it's a moot point if we can't get the initiative passed. It's just all conversation. So we have to understand, you've got to keep it simple, stupid. You have to keep it simple so people will actually donate money, donate time, convince their friends, and do what we're doing right now. That's it.
Okay, I found a lot of wisdom in what Don just said, a lot of wisdom. Let's move on to, we'll have a round discussion. I just want to make sure everybody gets their voice out. So Hal, are you there?
Okay, I'm here. You hear me?
In 3 minutes, brother, what did you think about what everyone said?
Oh, well, I agree with Don on this one. We need to get that point across, that there, as well as the negatives, we need the positives. We've been talking about that for quite some time now. Unfortunately, there hasn't been a lot to talk about positive wise in the narrative. I believe, and I'm sorry, but I disagree with this point. Any discussion about fixing America is a waste of time. Any discussion of fixing America is a waste of time. There's no benefit to fixing America. To be honest, from where we sit, if Trump and his cronies were to roll in and steal the supplies that Governor Newsom just bought, game over, we win. Game over, we win. If Trump rolls in and steals the supplies that were, I mean, if you think about it this way, our simple talking point was California tax money paid for medical supply, emergency supplies already. Then we went out and spent our own money to replace the stock that they didn't send, and they stole that too. Game fucking over.
Yeah.
Game over. There is nothing left that anyone on the other side of the argument can say at that moment that says that there's anything good left in America.
Mm-hmm.
There's nothing left. They have nothing to say. As far as the PAC and everything else goes, yeah, I agree. We need to shift it. We need to shift our activism. Shankar is right. Everybody here is right. I'm not sure exactly how to do that, so I'm quite willing to hear how we make that approach. But honestly, that point, yes, how does this benefit Californians? We re-hammer the outrage on, look at what they're doing, and we have to find a way to get that message into the public dialogue. If anything comes out of this, those need to be our points. Those need to be our absolute points. Independent California, like I said, is looking to shift to a more activist role. We have, honestly, looking at it, and Shankar and I have talked about it, and Dan and I have talked about it, and Marcus and I have talked about it. We have a lot of people making intellectual points. We have a lot of smart people. I don't know if we have enough people making accessible points.
Oh.
And that's what I would like. That's what I believe that we need to start focusing on, especially if we're going to take this campaign directly from our living rooms to the people of California. That's what I got to say.
Okay, good. All right, let's keep it going. We're halfway through the list. I think we're having a lot of good. We're starting to see consensus on some points. I know some people are debating with each other, and great. Real quick, we're going to go to Hannah real quick, but I got to make a point. Got to make a point to all of you. This is the most productive conversation I've seen amongst California independence advocates in my entire life. I've been in here before it got started. I was here in 2016, 2017, when we had way more members. You know why I think the conversation today is better than anything at the height in 2016, 2017? Because we're talking about fucking marketing, and we are disagreeing with each other about marketing ideas. And we're saying, I disagree with you on a specific marketing idea. Great. Should have been doing that 3 fucking years ago. We're finally there. And I see Shankar having leadership on marketing. And I see Hannah providing leadership on marketing. And I see Dawn providing leadership on marketing. You don't have to be an official leader. What I'm talking about is a California nationalist saying, God damn it, we need to do this, this, and this to win. You don't necessarily have to agree with them. I'm just saying that's the right motherfucking attitude. Here's 3 things. Get out there, start doing them. I'm doing them. Hope you're with me. And if you're not, I hope you're doing something. Dude, 2016, 2017 was, it's got to be a Bernie Sanders, California. No, it has to be a Gavin Newsom, California. No. You guys are talking about the way the future is going to be? We're not even fucking there. It has taken 6 months working with Daniel on these conferences and bugging the shit out of all of you till I know I'm annoying, but this is why. I kept saying marketing, 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 debate marketing. If you want to have talks and disagree with each other, fine, make it on marketing. And I remember when Hannah was the guinea pig, and I kept calling her in the background going, look, I know some people didn't like it, but please keep sticking your head out there, Hannah, because it's forcing the point. You don't like Hannah's ideas? Okay, where's yours? Where's your marketing plan? Where's your marketing thing in detail? So I just love the fact we're finally there. Boy, did it take a long ass time to get everyone in the movement to recognize these are the kinds of debates we should be having. These are the kind of things we're saying, no, you're wrong. My marketing idea is better. Great. Because we weren't doing that 3 years ago. And I think that's partly why we didn't have success. I'm going to stop there, turn it over to Hannah. Hannah, in 3 minutes, what do you think about what everyone said? Hannah. Hannah?
Okay. Yeah. Hi, Garrett. I like looking at your faces there. So I want to say that this is more actually what I think what Bob was saying in response to him was saying that I think one of the most frightening facts, and this is frightening for me as the lawyer, that's become clear is that since 2017, is that Republicans have no prosecution or imprisonment for literally whatever they do, which means what the law says you're allowed to do or what the law says you can't do or what public policy says would be just outrageous is really immaterial. They have political beliefs, they have religious beliefs. They tell them basically anything they can do is what they should do if it helps them gain and hold power. Because they obviously they start from the position of they're morally superior to everybody else, right? God loves them. God is on their side. And if you have that kind of belief, you can literally destroy anyone else. Look at history. My concern is that Republicans will use their connections with the Russians to procure an actual biological weapon to use against Americans in order to disrupt the November 2020 elections. I really have to wonder whether the November 2020 elections are going to occur or whether they're going to be anything real. Did you just see what happened in Wisconsin? Has anyone mentioned that yet? April 7th, I mean, the city of Milwaukee, 592,000 people. They saw 180 polling places reduced to 5. What kind of election is that? And remember, Putin allowed Novichok, which is a poison that was used to be used in Great Britain to kill a Russian, and Trump allowed Saudi Arabia to literally butcher an American citizen in Turkey. So what we have to think about is not what Republicans are going to do, but what they could do. Now, I don't think, by the way, the COVID virus is a Chinese biological weapon that some conspiracy theorists claim. I'm not going to say that. I think that's ridiculous because it devastated their people and it devastated their economy. So why would they have released it? It maybe accidentally released it. Yeah, that happened in Russia during the Cold War, but I don't think it's very unlikely that it occurred that way. No, I think this was an accident. But you got to believe there are people in this world who are saying, aha, this is how we bring society to this is how we bring civilization to its knees. This is how we seize power. By force, by using this kind of thing. We don't know what's going to happen. It could happen. We need to be prepared for that. Now, respectfully, I do not believe that issues like federal taxes, we're sending 20 or 40 or 60 or $80 billion to the United States government will alone achieve independence, because that's the argument that's always been present. It's just proven it's not enough to persuade a critical mass of voters to support a remedy as extreme as California independence. We have the 4th of July. We have an annual holiday. It does nothing but people stand around and say how wonderful they love how much they love the USA and how, they, plot all the soldiers who died, all for our freedom and, that kind of stuff. You know what I'm talking about. I have said, Joe, just yesterday, I said that, one of the great things about being a California independence advocate is I don't have to pretend to love the United States or to want to be, not for it to be perpetuated one more day.
Sure.
Okay. I'm sort of saying to conservatives, you won, people. You got it. You got your way. You wanted to have 100% ownership over what American patriotism is. You now got it. I'm free with you all because I'm a Californian. You guys are now looking at me from across a border. And I'll skip that. I will just remind you, I say once again, I've said it before, but the California Democratic Party represents 45% of the registered voters in the state of California. And most of those Democratic voters are the liberal voters and the progressive voters. That includes a lot of progressives who would in fact support Sanders. I mean, I'm well aware that Sanders in 30, he won the largest number of votes in California in the primary. But the fact is they're Democrats. And so whether there's independents or whether there's not, you're going to have to deal with the California Democratic Party. And I encourage people to realize that and get serious about that. Peace and freedom is out there. I just said today, I said, well, they might become an opposition party, or they might be a coalition member in a post-independence government. But peace and freedom they came in second in 3 congressional district elections in 2018. People, 3. 2 in the gateway cities of Los Angeles, 1 in East Bay in East Bay. That does mean they beat the Republican. They beat the Republican in 3 districts, but that's still only 3 out of 53. So clearly, the Democratic Party is going to run the show. Last is that when we talk about fixing America, this kind of brings it to Hal's point. It really means, I don't actually believe that California can really be independent all by itself forever and ever and ever. I don't think it's a good idea for all kinds of reasons. You know, I was reading The Plague by Camus. Have you know what I'm talking about? Does anyone nudge heads or wave if you've raise hands if you've heard of that book?
I have.
Yeah, very interesting book. And Camus ends the book by saying it's all about an imaginary bubonic plague that strikes a city. And Camus ends the book by saying that there are more things to like about people than despise in them. And I do believe that the people of the United States of America are fundamentally good people. And that there is in them still the flame of the desire for a true democracy. The trouble with it, a lot of its trouble is the United States Constitution, which the Republicans have very carefully exploited to effectively make America an undemocratic country. But we want to be a democratic country. So it means fixing America means creating a new federation from the states that exist as they exist. If you try to break up the states and try to ignore the state boundaries, you're going to have anarchy. But you've got existing, the beautiful thing, one nice thing about the United States government, right, is that it's composed of 50 states. Each of them is an independent government. Each has been operating for a long, long time. We have borders that we recognize. And so in fact, the fact that COVID hit the states of Washington, Oregon, and California first.
1 more minute.
Even before it reached the East Coast. I'm closing up here. Which, by the way, scientists believe was communicated to the Northeast sphere of Europe. I don't know if you know this, but there's like multiple COVID strains out there right now. So we actually are able to track how the virus is tracking around the world. But I think that should help convince people in the Pacific Northwest that they need to join forces with us, their friends of the South, and that our future lies in the Western states, and maybe eventually a coast-to-coast union. But the United States government's problems really start with the Constitution and the Republican Party, and they're not going to be. And the only way they had to, both of them, one of them has to be fixed or ignored and replaced. Many countries have had many constitutions, by the way. The United States Constitution has only survived as long as it has because it's been patched and patched and patched with 26 amendments. And you look, by the way, I'm going to close by saying this one thing. Do me a favor, people. Please read the 12th Amendment to the United States Constitution. You probably don't even know about it. I was thinking to myself, I never was taught about it in law school. But the 12th Amendment allows the state legislators, including the ones that are dominated by Republicans right now, to effectively elect the President of the United States, regardless of what the voters actually want. Okay? And it's been used before, by the way, back in 1876. So I'm not kidding, people. You think there's see, that's what I'm trying to say. We've been living our lives under what we thought America was about, right? Under custom and tradition, if you will. But in terms of what the law actually allows, your you don't actually have the right to vote for the President of the United States. Not an ironclad right that you can defend in court. And then what kind of court do you have when Donald Trump and McConnell have put in all those federal judges? Do you realize we're like 2 judges away even from flipping the Ninth Circuit Court of Appeals? That's your state. So I'm telling you, go home. When you read the 12th Amendment and do a little research, just a little research, I think you're going to be shocked about what you thought. But I will remind you this, right? The truth is, as much as we talk about the founding fathers, those guys in the, you know, in the wigs and the cute leggings and everything like, and the fancy shoes, right? As much as we love those men, the facts were the majority of them did not trust the American people.
True.
They didn't think we the people of the United States could actually govern ourselves. And they basically made it so that the elites would hold power. The reason why we love, say, someone like Thomas Jefferson so much.
1 minute, Hannah.
I will go. I know I got to go.
More people.
The reason we love the Thomas Jefferson so much, and that's why he's ironically he's on Mount Rushmore, is because he's one of the few people who really did believe in the people. But he was one man, and most of those people did it. And you just have to really look critically at the U.S. at the Constitution, and you could see, is America a democracy? Only if we're allowed it. If only the people who have power allow it to be a democracy. And I don't think that's happening anymore.
Okay, good points, good points. Jay Arias, are you there?
Yeah, I'm here.
Jay, 3 minutes. What'd you think about what everybody said?
Well, first of all, I have to say I love everybody here. This is a great group, and I've learned a lot just listening to all of you and reading all the emails going back and forth. And going back to what Steph said about being the black sheep of the family, welcome to the club. It takes crazy people with even crazier ideas to come up with insane results. And this is why we are all here. If we would have been all good boys and girls and listen to what our families say and do what they ask, none of us would have be here right now. We're here, all of us, we're all together in this because we want to make a change, not asking others to do it for us. We're creating the change here, little by little. Now, going back with Don about saying how we're better off without federal governments. Well, our local governments, I believe they're making a great steps in keeping our people safe. Governor Bonilla, which is the current governor of Baja California, is doing an awesome job of keeping the people safe and fed. He's been giving food supplies to those without a job or forced companies. He's forcing companies to cease operations and having the companies pay their employees full wages. For the first time in a long, long time, I was talking about my wife saying, hey, I feel safe here in Baja California. There's one of the very few times that I do not want to move out. Maybe visit other places, but if we all come together and if this pulls through, it's going to be an awesome time and a deal breaker for times to come. So, guys, keep it up. I love you all. Thank you all for tolerating me.
We love you. Californians are about building bridges. Americans are about constructing walls. That's a California value. I didn't invent that phrase. Brown did 5 years ago. Okay, moving on. John Pomeroy. John Pomeroy, for 3 minutes, what would you like to say about what anybody else said?
He's no longer on here, I think.
Okay. All right, Matt Owens. Matt Owen?
Well,
3 minutes, brother.
My phone winked there for a second, for which my apologies. It wasn't getting the charge it should. But anyways, I think everybody here is making vital contributions, even some of the people I disagree with from time to time. And that's good. We're having the debates we need to have. A special shout out, and that's normal for us because there's 40 million of us. That's why the political job of MIBC is so much easier in a sense, because they've only got a tenth the people in the peninsula that we have up here in Alta. So it's natural for us to be coming from different points of view. Okay, and we're finding common ground within those. An interesting thing. Do you realize that if Alta and Baja reunited, together we will have a larger economy than Germany? Well, what did they do in 1989? They reunited. They had some problems with that reunification, okay, because of the inequality between the two countries, the infrastructural challenges, and they met those. And we can do that with Baja, of course. They're as eager to join us as East Germans were to join West Germany.
Nice.
Okay. And we will have together a larger economy than Germany. But we find this, the moment of our victory in a rather unique situation. We have a triple crisis. We have the acute crisis of COVID-19. And that has brought about a worldwide Great Depression. Of course it has. If so many of us have to stay at home, it's the same effect a general strike would have. Okay, except it's not us doing it. It's the COVID-19 virus doing it to us. Okay, so we have that, and we also have the ongoing climate emergency, which is every bit as much as an emergency as COVID-19, but it's ongoing. It's not acute. We're going to get over COVID-19, maybe sooner, maybe later, depending on how badly the U.S. messes the world over. And they're doing this all over the world. They're pirating. They're actually going out and pirating supplies like they did in the U.S. They're doing this all over the world, and saying, "Gimme," interdicting them, wherever they can. So they're doing it because they can, and they're very opaque about what they're doing with that. They just said, "Don't count on us." Okay, do it yourselves. Then they pirate from us. Okay, so it's really illuminating what the U.S. has become and why we have to leave as a matter of survival, and not just us. And taking that as a score, New York has to leave a lot worse than we do. The home state of both Bernie Sanders and Donald Trump has to leave or die. Okay, even more than we do. So it's become a survival issue all of a sudden. But beyond that, acute survival issue, we have the horizon that's open up to us. Another horizon, again, is work accessibility. What could be more accessible than working from home? Okay, so inadvertently, we have stumbled across solutions to a number of problems. You don't believe me? Ask all the other species that we share the planet with. They think it's a great thing. It's like, at last, the antibody has arrived. For them, it's not the Antichrist, it's the antibody. Okay? Yeah, we can go, we can go do our thing again, finally. So basically, what I would sum it up by saying is that, yes, we do need to show to each constituency how it can benefit from our independence. Say it works in Baja. They know immediately, instinctively, how they would benefit from our independence. And we need to be able to convince Alta of that. We even, what I learned in that promotional video is the benefits to Alta of Baja joining, not just enlarging our economy, but we could double our electricity production. The renewable energy in Baja, produced in Baja, a surplus that, it could benefit Alta, that sort of thing. Benefits to our indigenous people. You look at where these plants would be constructed, if they were to be constructed, it would be on land reclaimed by the indigenous, just like it is in Palm Springs. You realize that where the Palm Springs propeller farm is in a city that half of it's on a reservation. They know how to do this. They like doing it. They like doing it a lot. So definitely, to the indigenous people, working with us to reclaim our sovereignty together, which is always, and I keep emphasizing this, has always been the history of California independence, side by side with
True. True.
okay, all the way back to before independence movement. Just
One more minute.
so I've learned so much from all of you. And let me offer one more thing. This is a Cascadia passport. They've been issuing them from a movement larger than our movement. This is a Cascadia passport. You open the passport, and like any other passport, oh, it's got a page for Visa stamps. Check this out.
Hold that closer to the screen, Matt.
Okay, because I'm doing something right now. Okay, and it's kind of, okay, let me open it to the Visa page for y'all, where the Visa stamps go. See this? And this? And I just stamped a Cascadia passport with a California Visa.
Nice.
So we don't have the, you know, we're not doing passports yet, but I can do visas if you would like. If you would like your U.S. passport to be also a California passport, I got a Visa stamp right here.
Nice. Okay, Matt, last minute comments. Then we're going to go to Shankar and then Stephanie, and then we'll do another loop.
Well, this is one of those serendipitous moments. And the flip side of that coin, unfortunately, is that it's also a serendipitous moment for the other side. This is their Reichstag fire. I'll say that again for emphasis. The COVID-19 pandemic is the Reichstag fire for the fascists now in charge of DC, and they're moving lightning fast. They're moving a lot faster than we are. They're even moving faster than Governor Newsom is on the other side. Okay, he's you know, it's like what Governor Bonilla is doing, and even President AMLO are doing. They're moving as fast as they can, but that they know how, I should say, not necessarily as they can, but as they know how. But the other side is moving a lot quicker. It's moving quicker than them, and it's moving way quicker than us. And I'm so glad to see us picking up the pace, because the other side is moving like lightning.
Okay.
Everything
Okay,
down.
good, good. Shankar Singham. Shankar? Shankar? Okay, moving on.
Buddy.
Hey,
So
Shankar, for 3 minutes, brother, what did you think about what everybody else said?
3 minutes is more than enough time for me, real quick.
Okay.
So and just to I'd rather talk about what we need to do, but just so everybody knows what other things were mentioned here. Someone mentioned if Trump attacked us and stole our supplies, guess what? We're gonna let him do it. There's nothing that we can do, or anybody on this planet that can do to the strongest military in the world. There's nothing anybody can do. It's the United States military. They're going to come in and take your diapers. Guess what? You're going to give them their diapers. That's what everybody on the planet is going to do. So forget about fighting. Forget about violence. Forget about shooting anybody. This is not how this is going to happen. It's going to happen like this. We're going to win them like this, because that's how we always do it. They gave us 170 broken ventilators. We gave them back 500 fixed ones. Okay, that's what makes California great. I mean, look. And just to prove that point a little bit more, when people come here to California, they learn to be Californians. When Californians go to other states, they don't assimilate over there. They take our values over there. So the U.S. you can think the U.S. can conquer us and whatnot, but they never, ever will. They cannot. It's impossible. So look, and what happened in Wisconsin, I think, Hannah, you were mentioning that. That'll never happen in California. That's Wisconsin. Fuck Wisconsin. They haven't produced jack. They did this. That whole election was a scam just to get Biden in. And the California Democrats that's an American political party. Again, I can go to any person right now, registered Democrat, who voted for Bernie and pitch him on another political candidate, and they say, "Oh, I'm a registered Democrat." Well, what have the Democrats done for you in the past 3 years? Absolutely nothing. Nothing for California Democrats. And in fact, if you go to any of the headquarters, it's disheveled. Their leadership changes every 6 months. It's a new leader in the Orange County Democrats. It's a new leader in the other. It's all over the place. So Democrats are an American political party. Republicans are an American political party. Nothing to do with us. Keep them out of it. Okay? For me, they're one and the same. They're one and the same. Okay? The last thing I want to say is something. Oh, the hand sanitizer. Hannah. Go to if you go to supplies, the California website, covidsupplies.ca.gov. You can actually sell and donate your hand sanitizer. They will take it. They need lots of it, so please go check it out. And then, oh, Dawn, you wanted a graphic with 5 reasons on why. Help me out in this, because you've asked for this before. We've got a ton of that kind of stuff. But what exact points do you want written on there? Let me know, because chances are Hal's probably already come up with it. So if you put exactly which 5 you want, that has nothing to do with politics, which is, I don't know. That's why I need you to tell me what it is. We'll have that done. And the last thing I'm going to say is, real quick, guys, everybody on this call, everybody on this, and all these faces on these screens, except for Dan, except for Dan, Hal, and Marcus, send me a black and white headshot. You, Don Sutton, that means you, man. A black and white headshot of you, and then email it to me. Okay, and then tell me what zip code you're in. Okay, I'm just gonna look up what offices are coming up for campaign positions are coming up in your area. And don't worry, you're not gonna win. Okay, you're not gonna win. All right, we just want the numbers. Stephanie, you too. Please send me a headshot of yourself and any position in office that you may be interested in. Even if you're not, I'll find one for you. Please send me a headshot, a black and white headshot of yourself. Right now I had 12. Now it's down to 8. I want to get 12 again, a good dozen, at least 10. Please. Okay. So Bob, that means you. And like my Independent California Facebook page, man, I keep requesting your friend. You keep denying me, bro. And Mr. J. Draco, you too, please like us on Facebook. If you're running for political office down there in Baja, as a pro Californian candidate, or even if you're not, send me your black and white pic, man. I'll put you down there as I don't know how elections work down there. You'd have to educate me on that, man. So
it's a federal government, like in the States. It's a federal government. We just have a lot more parties. That's it.
Okay, yeah. Send me a black and white headshot of yourself, man, and that would look so sick, and would scare the United States to know that we have candidates not only here in Cali, but also south of the border. That'd be pretty badass. So that's all I gotta say.
Let's hope my head doesn't roll because of this.
What's that?
Let's hope my head doesn't roll because of this. I don't think it's legal for me to participate in foreign politics.
It's that, dude. I'm running candidates not for you guys to win. We don't want, unless you really want to win. This is not to win, guys. This is all aesthetics. This is all propaganda. This is all media. Exactly. Hal's holding up right now the party that would be backing you up, would be supporting you, would be paying for your website, would be paying for your Instagram. All your social media is taken care of. All that stuff is taken care of, guys. We just need a headshot of you and your willingness to say that you are running. Okay. And yeah, look at Al. That's who's going to be backing us up on that. Okay. That's all I got to say, Marcus.
Okay. Stephanie Kamari. Stephanie, thoughts, feelings? 3 minutes? Anybody? Anything said? What'd you think?
I don't have that much because I've missed a lot in the beginning. But one thing that I'd like to say is these videos and stuff should be closed captioned. I'm not sure if that works on Zoom, but I have a lot of deaf or hard of hearing friends, and they're like, "What are you guys saying? What are you doing?" And also, just disability accessible marketing as well, whether that be large print, that kind of thing. And also, I read somewhere that in California, you can be penalized for not having websites and stuff that are not disability friendly.
If you're a government agency, yes.
But even anything right now, they're really starting to push accessibility for any kind of website or platform.
Actually, you can kill two birds with that, because you can have subtitled stuff and just make sure that English is one of the languages subtitled, and there you go.
Yeah.
Okay. Stephanie?
That's it for me. Sorry I was late.
But what'd you think about what anybody else said?
I agree with everything, actually. I think we're really starting to move along and understand where we need to be, with this marketing thing and stuff like that. Yeah.
Okay. Daniel, are you there?
Yes. Stephanie, send me a black and white headshot of yourself, Steph.
Yep, will do.
So Dan, what I'd like to do is I'm going to make my talk points, and then I'd like to end this recording and start a new one. So we're about an hour and a half or something deep. That's plenty for video one. I'm not saying we have to stop talking, but let me do my piece, Dan, and if that's okay, in that recording and then start a new one, because this has been a great conversation. We got a lot of ideas going through, and when you put like huge hour videos out, it kind of shocks people away from watching. So let me make a comment and then we'll end it, and then we'll start a second recording. If you want to stay around and keep talking, that's great. Dan, is that cool?
That's cool by me, but maybe you should ask everyone if they don't have something to do after, or if unless they want to keep on, if they want to stay.
Yeah, is everyone? Yeah, what I was thinking was, if everyone's okay with it, I'll make a few comments. We'll stop this recording. If you want to stay and keep talking, which I will, we'll start a second recording. You don't have to be here for that, but it would be awesome. I just don't want to make people have to stay longer. If you want to, we can do a great discussion, but I want to say great community meeting. Wow, did we hear from a bunch of different voices with a bunch of different ideas, and anybody watching this is going to get some idea of where everybody in the movement is and the things we're looking at. So if it's okay, let me make a final comment, Dan, in the recording, and then we'll start a second one. Everybody is invited to stay for the second recording if you want. Is that fair? Okay.
Sounds like a plan.
All right, Dan, I'm going to make my last minute thing, and then we'll end the recording, and then we'll start a new one.
Got it.
Okay. Because I know some people have to go, but I also know some people are down to talk like me. I love this shit. I love it. Are you kidding? This is the highlight of
Marcus?
Yeah.
Point of information here. Let you know that Jay gave me the link to that new article. I'm translating it now into English. It's a pistol to try to do. It's actually pretty loaded.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, it would. Yeah. So, anyways, I'll make it available as soon as it. I'm sort of thinking, right. I have homework today, but I'll stay in conversation. But I think I'll do is I'll probably like working my homework sort of while it's going on. So sort of.
Yeah, I'm trying to do a happy medium where,
yeah,
we had a great conversation. We encapsulated. If anybody wants to stay for more talk, you're certainly welcome. You don't have to, because I know some of us are down and some of us are like, I'm here for an hour and then I got kids and stuff, and I don't have kids, so I have time. But I'm always trying to be cognizant of people.
I'm just
point of information. It's 2:17 right now, so we've been going on for 2 hours.
Yes, Daniel.
Just so you know, who is it? Dawn is gonna head home, and I think Stephanie needs to go after this. Also, she's saying. So just so you know.
Okay. All right. So last minute comments from me. I waited to the end because I want to summarize the things that I thought were great. I'm gonna pound home leadership. I saw leadership from Hannah. I saw leadership from Dawn. I saw leadership from Shankar. And that's the point. They didn't say, I order you to do something. They said, I believe in California being a nation. Here's stuff we should all be doing. And I'm going to go ahead and get started whether or not you get my idea or not. It's been 6 months to get that idea across into the movement. Do something. You don't like what someone else did? Fine. What's your idea? And when are you going to start marketing it? This conversation is the first time that I've seen evidence that it's starting to get there. And the reason I'm pounding home, folks, is we're going to get really big. It's coming. And if it's anything like 2017, it's going to be with no warning. It's going to be, you're here, and then kablow! So you're thinking like, oh, I'll get 5 people tomorrow, and then 5 people the day after that. No, 10,000 in 40 hours. That's how shit is going to go. And normally I don't curse, on my professional videos, but this is a video and we'll post it up. But this is for real California nationals. Shit will just explode when it's real. You will not see the warning signs. It will just happen, and it will be overwhelming. And the idea is to be scalable. Now, the awesome thing is we have 4 CALEXIT groups. A lot of people pointed out, Marcus, why are you spending so much time making sure all the CALEXIT groups are organized? Because they're known, their public knows them, and we're going to need every motherfucker out there ready to jump and organize. It's going to be more than we can handle, I promise you. And we are very close. The governor's saying nation, state, and everybody's saying it. And if it's anything like 2016, we had some indications there was growth. The Bernie Sanders people came in and grew Yes California, but when Trump won, man, it was here, and then it was here in 2 days.
Yeah.
Massive. It's not going to be in increments, people. Get that out of your head. Be ready to be scalable and jump, and be ready to see no warning signs the day before. Okay, now that that's done, I want to
Marcus, real quick though, you said earlier too, it's nice that we're doing marketing right now. We weren't doing it 3 years ago. Marcus, 3 years ago, we were on defense mode and trying to hold everything, hold our shit straight, hold our underwear up, bro. I mean, we don't have to do that right now. We're actually, let's do this right. And yeah, it will happen again, dude, when Trump wins. So you're right. Let's make it scalable and doable. But that's it. That's all.
Yeah, completely agree. And also don't count on it being when Trump wins. So
right.
when Trump was screwing up the COVID-19, I stayed on this. I watched this shit daily. I had no idea that Gavin Newsom was going to go on with his COVID-19 first response and say nation state. I did not know he was going to continue to pound that home. He did.
It's not the first time he said
I didn't see that coming.
It's not the first time he said nation state.
No, I know, but I'm just saying that if you watch this closely, there was no way to tell it was going to explode in the last week like it did, and it did. Yeah. And that's not Trump being reelected. That's just Trump sucking and COVID-19. So point is, there could be something that none of us are seeing right now that Hal, Hannah, Dan, Bob, Shankar, Stephanie, none of you are seeing. I'm not seeing. And it'll be something, and everybody in California is going to be super upset, and they're going to be talking about secession. I did not see the COVID-19 thing. Get that through your head. None of us really predicted, oh, tomorrow Gavin Newsom's going to start pounding on nation state. No one saw that, or no one told me. So be ready for something other than Trump being reelected tomorrow, 2 weeks from now, next month, just going. Do not plan on being able to predict everybody jumping up and down for secession tomorrow, 2 days from now, 2 weeks from now. We cannot predict. So yes, definitely Trump's going to win re-election. Californians are going to lose their mind. But there could be something tomorrow, way before that I just can't see. I never saw the COVID-19 thing with Newsom coming. And I pride myself on being able to see things. So just be ready. Massive growth, unexpected, tomorrow. That's what I'm all about. And hell, I'm looking at you. Because you can talk to everyone in the other organizations. CNP, CFC, IC, YesCA, Cal Pride, Cal Lit PAC. Everybody should be ready for more growth than they can handle. And that's why it's going to take all of us. Okay, now that I've said that, I want to point home. Here's my action items. Everybody should be making videos. What are your 5 ideas on what do you gain if California is independent? I completely agree with Don. Everybody should have your 5 ideas on what do you get with California's independence. However, I also agree with Hannah and Shankar. Shankar said, no, you need to point out the things that we're going to protect. You're right. You should have a separate list of 5 ideas on things that will be lost if California does not become a nation. And then you should have 5 ideas on policies the California government can enact right now to make us a nation. And the reason is, I don't know which one's going to be the winner. I want to tell you a real quick story. Valentine's Day, 2018. Yes, California had spent $500 on hiring marketers and graphic designers to make marketing ideas. You know what our most successful one was? We just thought in 30 seconds, what if we took a broken heart graphic and put an image of California on one side and America on the other? That idea that took 30 seconds and about 1 minute of graphic design team outdid everything that we spent hundreds and thousands of dollars and hours marketing. So that's my point. You don't know. You're smart, I'm smart. So let's try all 3. Maybe the way you say, here's the 5 things you lose if we don't become a nation, is what gets people scared. Maybe a totally different group of people, like Don says, are going to respond to, what are the 5 things I get if we're independent? And I absolutely believe right now, because I have 150 views on my video in 1 day. 150 views in 1 day. All I did was go through my notes on policy ideas to become a nation. Here's the thing. All of you have that. All of you have been talking about that for years. I didn't come up with shit new. I went notes from Sovereign California, 5 fucking years old, pulled old ideas and printed, and people love it. And you know what they love? The fact I said we came up with it 5 years ago. So if you can say, hey, we were talking about this last year, homie, 2 months ago, a year, people pay attention, because that's the point, and Hannah was alluding to this. Oh, is Governor Newsom and everybody going, what do we do? Well, you called us insane, but it turns out for the last couple of years, we've been planning for this moment right now. So maybe we weren't crazy. Maybe, in fact, we were crazy genius, and we saw shit before it happened. And thank God we were talking. I suggest every CalExit organization get out there today with 5 policies the California government can enact to become a nation if it needs to do, and point out that you had been using those ideas a year ago or 2 years ago, because that makes you a leader. Do not think that the 5 list that you have is the best one. Everybody in CalExit should have 5 things you're going to lose, 5 things you're going to gain, and 5 policies to suggest. That's 3 separate videos. And I would suggest you get that out there right now. And I would suggest you tell everybody in the movement, I don't know if I have the top 5 ideas that are going to work. Why don't you make a video of your 5 ideas and you get that out there now? Because here's what's going to happen. If everybody's out there going, my 5, my 5, my 5, guess what? CalExit is going to be the only group of people who suggested every good idea out there.
Damn. Marcus, I'm in my car right now. I did a video yesterday over at Cerritos Mall because it's empty, an empty parking lot at just what a failure the U.S. is. So I'm in my car right now. I'm going to go do my 5 right now, in fact, man.
Do your 3 5s. Think about it. Tell everybody else. Maybe I think I don't have the right answers. Hannah, you do your 3 5s. Dan, you do your 3 5s. Oh, I don't agree with Don's 5s. Great. Do yours. Let's get both videos out. That's what I'm saying. Don't assume you have the right ideas. Get your ideas that you think are the best out. I will promote them. You know that I will. So everybody get out there. Everybody, ideas. The public is so willing to listen to ideas right now. We can be the movement seen as the people who's been punching all these ideas out, because we've been talking about for 3 years when nobody else bothered to have this conversation. Now's the time to point, we were right. We We're right. And you're welcome, California, for us thinking ahead for you. Last comment. Oh, sorry.
Sort of on that. Sort of on that note, and Shankar knows this because I showed him this before the COVID outbreak. Okay, that what you're seeing in Cerritos right now has been the case in my hometown all along. So we have some experience with this sort of thing, not acute, but chronically. So we come to the table with, okay, now it's happening all over the world. What happened to us since the 1970s? Now, if it's dealt with constructively and creatively and successfully elsewhere, guess what? We're out of the hole too, finally. It took this to do it, but I've always said that when the train's running backwards, as it's been doing with the wage freeze since the 1970s, the caboose becomes the head end. Now all of a sudden, the rest of the train is going where the caboose already went. So, welcome to our side of the tracks, folks. Let's see.
Thanks, man. Let me just make a few more comments and then we're going to end the video. We'll start a second one.
Okay.
Last two things I suggest, I just want to point out: great leadership, great marketing. 5 ideas, 5 ideas, 5 ideas, whatever you are, think they are. Don't, you shouldn't care if other people agree with your ideas. Get them out there. Be like Hannah. I think I have some damn good ideas. I'm going to start discussion. Oh, did you not like my ideas? Where are yours? I totally 100% love Hannah. And I want everybody to be like that. That's how we win. More ideas and we have trouble debating. But what's going to happen is you're going to get your ideas out there and the public's going to tell us which ones they love best. And it could be the idea that Daniel came up with. I don't know. So last two things, Shankar, John Pomeroy and Matt Owens. That's Shankar Singham, John Pomeroy, Matt Owens. The website for the California Independence Movement is coming soon. Coming soon. I can't rush the guy. I'm trying. Hal has already met with him. Bob met with him. They're talking technical conversations. How do you want the political page described, Shankar? John Pomeroy, how do you want Return California described on your page? Matt Owens, how do you want Grand California described on your page? Everyone's going to get a page and it's going to look beautiful. So be thinking about that. Get that stuff. That's coming. Last thing, back the pack. I need more videos from more people saying, whatever group you're from, back the pack, because the pack's for everybody. So we're getting some. I am dedicated to that. The pack and the website are the two things that's going to move this entire movement into the next level. And I think it's fortuitous that they're here right now. So back the pack, be enthusiastic about the website. And I will be coming around to everybody asking for news articles. Hannah's going to teach me how to write in the proper format for the pack over time, and then I will be teaching others. So it's coming. Can't rush things. It takes time. But website coming, pack coming, back both. Please come up with videos on your different 5-3 things. And last thing, I'll leave it here. So, Yes California was able to get the word CALEXIT to be the top trending word on Twitter this week. 24 hours after we did that, Governor Newsom says nation state, and then every newspaper's talking about nation state. My question to you is that a coincidence? Gavin Newsom's been saying nation state and COVID-19 for a week and a half. Suddenly, a day after CALEXIT's trending all over Twitter, everyone in the news is talking about nation state. Now, why didn't they do that when he first did it? Or a week ago? Or half a week ago? Why was it within the shadow of CALEXIT blowing up on Twitter? Maybe because Gavin Newsom and the government of California all saw CALEXIT being talked about on Twitter. We know that Cal Matters and another Sacramento-based policy journal both printed this week CALEXIT in the news. We also know that Dianne Feinstein, that's Senator Dianne Feinstein, repeated a talking point by Yes California 3 days
after we made it. So what I want everybody to know is do whatever you can to get CALEXIT in the news, and that means jumping up and down and setting a circle on fire because they're paying attention, and anything about anyone talking about CALEXIT is being talked about in policy journals, and every politician in California is paying attention. And what they're going is, God damn, you guys still talking about that? I guess it means you really meant it. Do whatever you can to get that word out, and do it now, because I promise you they're paying attention. I'll stop there. Daniel, let's end the recording and we'll start a new one.
Wait, Stephanie has something to say real quick, I think. Go ahead, Stephanie.
Yeah. One thing that I was wondering is, could we get into the press briefings and, you know, say, you know, Stephanie Kumari from CALEXIT, or any of you, or I think that we need to do that.
Yeah, we have a journal if you want to represent. It's called the Californian. If you want to, you know,
How do we get into those press briefings and all that stuff?
Well, if you're a press, you ask for a pass. They give it to you.
Okay. Because I think, especially with all this COVID stuff, I mean, and lots of questions being asked by press and having all these different meetings, I think it would be well worth it.
Yeah, I mean, I think the issue is we don't have a professional journalist. We have people doing this on the side, and so they can't make the press conferences. So
Yeah, I'm waving my hand because but actually, yeah, I've been since I actually live at home and everything. I'm basically that. And if you haven't noticed, Governor Newsom has been doing his press conferences for quite a while now, totally through the internet. Have you noticed that? I don't know. You're probably not around at noon to watch television, or 11:30. I don't know what time it's on. So yeah, but it does. I mean, what Stephanie's point is that it does bring up what I said, was that we need to have our own media, but that also means we have to have our own readers. So it's a chicken and egg thing, and I would think it's just important to just get content out. I mean, don't forget. I mean, here's what I've always said. The first audience you should be looking for, well, are people who already support California independence. And number two are students who are studying the topic. I'm thinking about that 8th grader who's going to say to teacher, I want to do my paper on the California independence movement. Can I? Yes, you can do that. They go to Google and they type something. And what is going to appear should be our material.
True.
That's where it always, if you just start small, right? That's a great example of how to start small. You're trying to look on the brain of a 13-year-old. Yeah, that's all I'm saying, Steph. Is like, you really could be, I mean, think about this. I mean, I know, I don't want to point out that, remember, I've got good health, and I should probably, before I get too excited, I have to remember that you've got limitations that maybe I wouldn't have. But nevertheless, the fact that you're stuck at home is not a big deal. I mean, I've said already online, I'm like, 18 months to live here and never leave the house. Okay. I'll be productive and not just waste a year and a half of my life. So yeah, it's fine. I mean, you could do report. I mean, you look at daily. I think a good example is look at Daily Cause, which, by the way, right, we all been talking about the piece in Daily Cause, right? Well, where did it really come from? It came from somebody probably living at home, or at best goes to Starbucks. Well, Starbucks is closed now. And they're literally sitting, you know what I mean? They're literally at home and grinding out stuff. And that means, you can call, you got, I probably should tell people, I have this cell phone, okay? This cell phone is for a phone number that is not my home and not my personal cell phone. It costs $20. It only costs you $29.95 for every 90 days. Yeah, $19.95 for 90 days. So, anyways, get one of these and run your business through this thing, and then not have to worry. You can then just be an office. Your home can be your office, and you can literally call. Then you start using your phone to call legislators, press people. ask them questions. I've heard this. Can you confirm that? Be a journalist, basically. And actually, I'll shut up by saying, I am sure that it would not be very difficult to find some great web pages on basically, so you want to be a citizen journalist. You know, this is how, here's some pointers. And then pretty soon before you know it, you're going to be, obviously the better you can, obviously, I've been doing for 30 some years, so including radio, print, and my student newspaper, which is print. So it's a little bit easier for me. And of course, as a lawyer, I've been getting my, I've been earning my supper by writing, right? But yeah, that's always tricky. But there's no reason why we should be getting our material out there online. And I've got a web page running right now. You can put posts up there. Marcus, actually, by the way, he's gone now. Actually asked to put posts up on Calib. And I knew I owe him to get, I'm pointing at his face right now. I owe him to give him permission to start putting stuff directly on it. But anyways, no matter what, we can definitely do this stuff. It's a good point you raised, and I'm glad you did.
Hey, Daniel.
And I'm 3 paragraphs away from finishing the article from Mexico, and it really is going to blow your socks off because he's writing so in an intense way.
Okay, I'm gonna end it. I'm gonna end the Facebook Live also. Okay. All right. I'm gonna restart. So we're gonna end this meeting, and I'm gonna restart it right after.
Yeah, just start a new one. Yeah, just start a new one.